Hey guys, I'm RozaldVaneGAME and welcome back to another episode of Vampyr. We last left off was we were searching for the head medicines. We got like all the medicines now. We got the recipe because I was struggling to find that thing, and it was just like me idling for like level ups for dumb reasons, I guess, for the XP and stuff. I mean, the XP is easier when you're fighting easier enemies, which is great. Means that you can just farm that off and get as much XP, but it just takes more time to just handle that. But that wasn't the point of why I wanted to do that in the last episode. It was just more like the head medicine thing was more important. But we did talk to a new character. We didn't get to speak to him really often. It's the brother of Loretta, which is the medicine lady we saw a couple of times over, Loretta. We spoke to him, cured him from his head medicine with the head medicine, as well as some other people in Whitechapel. We're gonna head back to the West End, but before that, let's talk to Loretta, since we got some information from her brother.
Good evening, my dear colleague.
Yeah, we talked to her brother, so she should have a new talking point right here.
Loretta, why do you feel so guilty about your brother?
I don't expect him to forgive me. All I can do is make amends for what I did.
What did
By
she
making
do?
him a crook and a criminal. What if somebody decides to make him pay for your scam?
Mason is totally capable of defending himself. Just leave us be. We're perfectly fine.
Interesting. I think it would be easing the remorse.
I know how guilt feels between a brother and sister. Are you sure you're not trying to ease your own remorse?
Mason wants to be useful. Can you understand that? And chemistry is his passion. And the Swanborough cordial gives him a purpose in life.
Oh, I gathered the information from that. Cool. I didn't know that I was gonna get. I wasn't sure if I was gonna get the information off of her.
Loretta, your miraculous formula wouldn't even cure a common cold, and you know it.
The Swanborough's cordial's secret ingredient is hope, Doctor.
So,
and it's something people around here really need.
A placebo
Yeah.
effect is real and has benefit. But in your case, you could be murdering your customers who may die because they are not receiving the necessary medical attention.
Medical attention? In Whitechapel? Trust me, my cordial is the best option they have, since it is the only one.
it is true that unfortunately that's the only place with, like, this is the only shop that's cheap enough to provide something, but I feel like her true purpose is not to help for sure. It's either this option or the placebo may have some effect. Which one would give me an actual bit of XP, I wonder? I'll just take this.
Well, as it is a placebo of sorts, perhaps it may have some positive effect.
See? You have to admit I'm doing some good. The Swanborough family is not poisoning anybody, Doctor.
As long as it doesn't poison people, I guess, but it's just kind of sad, though, just to see that being the case.
I'd like to see what...
It is kind of sad to see some stuff being in there in the case. Oh, look at this, the items I sold to her still being here. It's hilarious to me. Is there any items I don't need to sell to her? Beautiful flower. A small flower like those offered to the poor by Dorothy Crane's accomplice, Camilla. Oh, I just got the flower out of nowhere, I guess. I don't know how I got the flowers, though. I'm just confused because that was really random. That was really random. I was not anticipating that. Alright. We're heading back to the West End anyways. Well, we talked to Loretta, giving us some XP at least. Yeah, they gave us 10 XP, which kind of sucks. We got 4,310 XP, which is nice, sort of. I mean, it's nice to have some XP, I guess, than not at all, but it's not enough to literally give me much of an upgrade, I would say. Oh no, it looks like we're getting into the area where it might be a little bit troublesome to deal with. I just want to get back to White End, not Whitechapel. Whitechapel is already West End. Sorry, I keep saying the names because they're the names keep mixing up in each other, which bothers me a little bit. Whitechapel sounds like West End, and West End sounds like Whitechapel. If you just don't think about it and just speak out of randomness. Hey, more ammo. All right, let's see what you got, buddy.
Good evening.
What do you got available? What do you got available? It's still lead plate. Ugh. I don't need any of these anymore unless I really want to just upgrade other stuff just for fun for some dumb reason. We do have money. I'm gonna sell one perfume at least. We got money, but I don't know if I want to spend it on the fork to... You know what, screw it. I'll spend it on one fork at least. Yeah, because the fork I sold to the guy, I just didn't think that it would be useful until now, and so... It's my freaking fault, but at least it's still purchasable. Like, at least it doesn't get lost in the shuffle of just selling it and then disappear forever kind of thing. As long as that's the case, I'm fine with whatever it is. Then I can probably upgrade the stake, because I needed to upgrade the stake for its additional parts. This one, the stake of the upgrade, secondary parts of the upgrade. Either blood absorption or stun. I'm going to take stun, because I still want to stun the enemies quickly enough. Decrease stamina use, that's good. Yeah. Because I want to make sure that I have enough for that particular thing anyways. Got some ammos back from the shotgun, which I'm not using it anymore. I'm actually going to spare the ammo for usage of that sort of thing now, because I'm starting to be mindful that the shotgun is very limited in ammo for dumb reasons I don't know. I wish to find more shotgun ammos, but shotgun shells, but it's just harder to find because of how sparing they're offering it to me through the enemies. Alright, trying to think. What do I want to do? Right, yes, I need to get medicine for the folks here. That's what I wanted to do. He has migraine. I have migraine medicines, I believe. No. Right here. Fatigue. Headache. Headache is migraine, isn't it? Don't tell me they did it differently. Neuralgia? Yeah, I already got neuralgia. We haven't crafted the other thing, so let's... Yeah, let me see what the... Let me double check if headaches is the migraines that they're talking about. Unless they separated it, I'm just confused why migraine and headaches are separate. Because migraines are technically headaches. I don't know. I mean, that's what I think. Migraine and headaches are the same, I thought. But if they're not the same, I'm gonna be so surprised. It is separate. Why? What... So what's the difference between migraines and headaches? Is it migraine like a little bit more like painful than the headaches maybe? Oh, Jesus Christ. Where can I go in her room? I can't. Intriguing. I didn't know she had a room of her own. I was just confused by that. Anyways, whose room is this though? Is this the butler's room, I guess? But yeah, it's like... Okay, let's look for the guy. The guy's somewhere around here. It's our childhood friend, basically, who needs the migraine medicine. This guy.
Good evening, old chap. Are you all right?
I won't lie to you, Johnny. I'm not a well man.
I can tell.
Do you need medical assistance, Clarence?
It's a little late for visiting hours, don't you think?
Anytime, man.
What can I say? I haven't lost my old habits.
I hope we're talking about the same habits, old friend.
Alright, so that gives us some stuff there. I think we talked to his wife... We talked to his wife, Venus. So she should give us, yeah, one of the clues about his background, I guess.
Do you realize you are ruining your family, Clarence? Don't you see the risk here?
Money isn't important. Not important when it is a matter of life and death. That is what my dear Venus cannot understand.
Oof.
People will laugh at you, if they don't already. Think about your wife and your position. Think about your future.
I understand my wife's embarrassment, but gossips don't kill, vampires do. There'll be no future if people don't open their eyes.
Uh-huh.
I can't believe I'm telling you this, but if warning people is that important to you, why not choose a more efficient way to spend your money?
Don't you think I tried? I knocked at every door, went to every bank, I even tried to be published. No, Jonathan. This is a one-man war.
That's not true. Pre-Wen are doing it exactly what you're doing, but by actually doing some action. I think him informing people about the vampire situation doesn't seem to help.
You need some rest, Clarence. You should try to sleep.
Yeah, he should. But it's like doing the information that he's doing is not helping anyone in actuality, and that kind of sucks. 4,360 XP. Yeah, let's go. I do need to do a little bit more action before we start using the before we start going on to the sleep again to cure, or not to cure, to gain the XP or use the XP. Yeah, there's a lot of this guy. Oh yeah, there's some fatigue people in the hospital, but there's a lot more headache people, it seems. Headache migraine people are still in there. Oh, I see. What was this? The docks? Yeah, the dock seems to be the worst. Yeah, the docks are in a worse state. I want to go back to the hospital though too, because I know the hospital has some stuff there now, and I'm just like, I want to go, but I just can't because I gotta finish up some stuff here. Alright, let's go continue. Yeah, let's continue the main story. I'm just hoping to... I was just hoping to see if there's anything more to do before going in here. I don't think anything will change, I don't think. Yeah, going in here, I don't think there should be anything much at all. Yeah, I don't think it would, like, prevent me from continuing for... Oh, wait, Lady Ashbury? Excuse me? What's going on? She's writing something.
Elizabeth, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
I've been formally asked to witness your triumph, my dear. After all, isn't it the natural role of a woman to support her man in victory?
But it's you who insisted I join the Ascalon.
Please forgive my giddiness. I'm just overcome by the thrill of finally being allowed within these hallowed halls.
You certainly have an inquisitive mind. It's quite something. Elizabeth Ashbury, only you can make me smile in these difficult times.
And the same to you, Jonathan Reed. Now go have your little chat with the chairman. I can see he's practically bursting to hear your report.
Uh-huh. But I'm having a bad feeling about this because I think it's going to end in very, very bad state because of the fact that the vampire hunters, the pre-wins, are going to chase after us, I guess, in a way. Feelings. I realize that the music in the background is playing and it's like a low hum that you I don't know if you guys can hear it though. It's like a pretty low hum that's really bothering me a little bit. It's like, it's like, what kind of music is playing in the background here? Kind of feeling. I wish I could turn up the music, but I'm just very worried that copyright is a thing that bothers me a little bit, so I try to avoid it as much as I can. Are we talking to him, or are we talking to the other old man? No, I think we're talking to this guy.
Welcome back to the Ascalon Club, Lance-Bearer. Please, tell us the good news. Have you put an end to the epidemic?
My hypothesis was correct. Doris Fletcher was the source of the contagion in this part of town. She was probably the first to be infected.
Yeah.
And you cleansed her before the hunters, I've been told. Well done, Dr. Reed. You thrust your lance and pierced the very heart of the corruption.
Uh-huh. I'm just a doctor.
I'm just a doctor.
The important thing is, we won a major battle for the survival of London.
Sort of.
For that, we salute you.
Thank you, my lord.
Now, I have another task for you. One of the utmost importance. Perhaps even more so than the previous.
I'm listening.
It's time for you to perform a most sacred duty for the club. I want you to recruit a new vampire.
Huh?
Recruit a new vampire? Are you sending me on some sort of diplomatic mission?
Not exactly. I want you to make Aloysius Dawson the Ekon he deserves to be.
Oh, is he talking about the old man? The guy, the center of the pillar of this whole West End? I'm not sure, yeah.
I'm not sure I'm the best candidate for such a task.
I can hear the hesitation in your voice, Dr. Reed. I admire a man of principles. But in this matter, there is more at stake than your moral comfort.
Really?
It's not a moral question, Lord Redgrave. It's the responsibility of giving immortality to a man I barely know.
Yeah.
Nonsense. Aloysius has been a member of the Ascalon for years. This is but the fruition of a long-held plan.
How would you like me to proceed?
Aloysius is waiting for you at the Dawson estate. Once the deed is done, I'll join you there to celebrate this momentous occasion.
I have a bad feeling, because I think Dawson's going to turn into a vampire, and then he's going to become the boss, the final boss fight that we had to deal with, I think. The reason why I think so is because Dawson is the type of character who hasn't shown his cards, I say. Like, even though we're part of the Aloysius Club, I don't know why that's his name, the Ascalon Club. As we join the Ascalon Club, there isn't guarantees that this guy was actually truthful to what he wanted all this time. But at the same time, when we spoke to him, he sounded like he didn't want immortality. He wanted to stay human forever. So it's kind of like going against Dawson's requests. Well, Redgrave wants him to be, because he's the richest guy around, and he wants the richest man with the most power to stay around so that he can still utilize his finances to fund the Ascalon Club to stay, you know, stay the course, basically. But I think that's a bad problem, because if Dawson has discovered that he can't die, then he can't get the finances he could get from being whatever, because he's not gonna like it, I think. I think he's gonna ultimately have a problem in his hands anyways, because he can't handle being a vampire. He's
Before I go, I have a few questions.
All right, I'm listening.
He's been in the seat for so long as a human that he doesn't want to be a vampire, because he knows the politics behind it is just not great, so...
Why Aloysius Dawson?
Because he is about to die. And he just may be the most influential man in England. After me, of course.
But he did say he didn't want it.
Did he choose me?
No, I did. My decision is very recent, to say the least, but it is entirely mine.
You know what? So I am right. So this guy, so Redgrave is the one who decided all of this, not even considering Dawson's wishes. Like, that's just kind of dumb. But I think Redgrave is doing this again to keep the status quo, because he needs this to build Dawson's dream of walling the vampires and any elitist group people off from the poor. And it's just what I think is going on, and yet Dawson doesn't realize that he's just a pawn to Redgrave's strategy, in a way. Even though, like, Dawson is the pillar of the whole West End, which is funny to me.
Does he know I'm coming?
He can't wait to become your progeny, Dr. Reed. Especially now that you have shown how strong your lineage is through your sister.
No. The sister went crazy. I don't think that's how it works.
How would you like me to proceed?
Don't worry. Aloysius has had many years to prepare himself. He has studied our kind for decades.
But this also could change the tide of the society of the West End, because one thing is for certain is that he could potentially just send letters to the Guards of Prewin to finally aim at the throats of the Ascalon Club. I think Dawson is potentially finally able to pull the trigger on trying to kill and end the vampires, because I think if this is becoming true with what Redgrave wants, this might be sending me to my grave, or potentially sending Jonathan to his grave right here by sending him to Dawson to convert him, or that it is going to become true where they do want Dawson to be a vampire.
So shall I just let him drink my blood?
Yes. Aloysius will gratefully sup on your blood. His heart will slow, then stop. But he will rise again as one of us, an immortal.
But I do think that Dawson will become evil nonetheless, either through the Guards of Prewin or through the vampire stuff. But we'll see. We'll have to see.
Is there any danger?
Our blood alters a mortal body so deeply that some don't survive the metamorphosis.
Oof.
They die for good. But Mr. Dawson has been preparing himself for a long time.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know.
You invited Lady Ashbury. Wouldn't that be breaking one of your cardinal rules? No women allowed.
Not allowed as members, no. But considering the circumstances, I thought you'd like to have her here to witness your triumph.
So it's a temporary admittance, then.
Something of a bargain, considering the crisis we're currently facing.
I do think she might be also taking the chance to...
Goodbye, Lord Redgrave.
Alright, reach Temple Church entrance. Okay. Which is what? Where is that? Oh. Oh, we're going to the North Docks? No, this is the Econ that we were fighting. Never mind. I was confused. No, it's this way. Yeah, we haven't really been through the gardens much. Yeah, we haven't been through this area before, really. So that's the only the final real region we've actually have never seen or went through before. That's very interesting that was hidden off to the side there. Oh, she's gonna say something.
Are you all right, Jonathan?
Lord Redgrave has just ordered me to turn Aloysius Dawson, to make him my progeny.
I see. And how do you feel about this?
Not great. Yeah, I need advice.
I'd like your advice on the matter.
The real question here is, why has his lordship given you this task?
Do you think it's some sort of trap?
Do you really want to know what I think about this?
I do, yes.
To make an immortal of a soulless blackguard like Aloysius Dawson will only lead to a disaster for London. The man is already dead inside.
Should I refuse? Perhaps politely suggest that Lord Redgrave turn the man into a vampire himself.
Don't you dare, my dear. According to what I've recently discovered, his lordship could kill you for even broaching the subject.
Oh.
Really? Why?
I've recently found proof that the Earl of Bristol is of lesser lineage and only capable of creating skulls.
Wow. Wow. So that makes it very interesting. So that means that Redgrave does not actually have a good bloodline at all to begin with, because he's the last of his kind, or his lineage of blood. Yeah, because our bloodline is very much the closest to the original vampires, because of the fact that the original vampire converted us. So that's really interesting that they...
Please, tell me more about your recent investigation.
Yeah.
As long as you lower your voice.
Couldn't we just take this outside? We're inside the freaking building itself, and everybody can hear us.
What would you have me do about Dawson?
The man is dangerous. Did you know he plans to build a wall to separate the healthy rich from the sickly poor?
Yes.
Do not make him your progeny.
What would you do?
The man's dying already. Let the Reaper harvest the rotten fruit that is his soul.
You know what would be cool? Just letting time pass and then just see if kind of similar to Metal Gear Solid 3, I think, the Metal Gear Solid 3 mechanic where the old man sniper is waiting for you, and then you can pass the internal clock of the computer or the game itself, and or not computer, the PlayStation, I believe it was. You can turn the internal clock forward, and then he dies because you waited too long. I don't know by how long, but yeah, it's just that would be funny if this game took that approach.
What would happen if I made Dawson an Econ like myself?
You would add a powerful immortal into a suffering world.
True.
An immortal who already craves authority.
Maybe I could teach him control.
No.
Like you taught me. Lead him down the right path.
Doubt.
Mr. Dawson spent his life searching for a way to cheat death. I'm sure he has spent decades dreaming of how he'd spend eternity as a tyrant.
True. If anything, if he has that much power, you think he's dumb enough to follow your orders? He's seen how vicious the world is because he's lived the longest out of he's lived the longest compared to Jonathan. If anything, we're kind of the naivety of what Dawson is, because he's literally lived almost 100 now at this point. Or maybe he's lived 80, I guess. Almost 80, maybe. I don't think that... I don't think at this point people are able to live 100 yet, because medicines have advanced a little bit, but it isn't to a point where everyone can live to 100 yet. But here it's like he's beyond our years. He's like maybe 30 years ahead or something like that for what it is for the characters.
Are you sure your information about Redgrave is correct? He says he's the progeny of the great knight William Marshall, who lived some 9 centuries ago.
That's a lie. Lord Redgrave is unable to create anything but skulls, if the poor souls survive at all.
Interesting.
How can you be sure the information was correct?
I made the acquaintance of a most interesting informer while investigating your maker, from whom I learned the truth about Lord Redgrave.
Interesting. So there's a guy who's been keeping an eye on our characters, keeping an eye on Jonathan's like ongoings and past as well.
Why so vindictive? You suddenly sound like you're angry.
Forgive me, Jonathan. I hate myself for it, but I feel such pride in my discovery. I'm afraid I just can't help it.
Yeah, because she's...
Which is?
He did serve William Marshall. And yes, the blood he covets as a token does truly belong to that legendary knight. But he was never his progeny.
Oh.
His lineage is not so noble.
Ooh, that sounds very sad, that the guy is not really actually noble to begin with.
Goodbye for now, Elizabeth.
Goodbye, my dear. Please, be careful.
Alright, that should be a lot of XP's done, right? We got 4,560, but I don't think we've gained much. I don't think we've gained much from that talk with Redgrave at all. Alright, cool. So that's
It looks like vampires have to obey Mendel's laws when producing progeny. Powers pass from one generation to another. That's why Dawson wants me to sire him.
Alright. Okay, so, I'm gonna stop here for now, because we're closing in on the 30-minute mark anyways, so... Yeah, well, I'll probably call it for now early a little bit. Trying to think. I want to go back to the docks in the hospital to go and hear up the people that are in those areas, because there are a lot of people who are sick, and I technically wanted to help them cure their issues. So I can gain some XP as well on top of that too, because I need the XP right now. So I can get some level ups and get them all done and out of the way. And plus I want to get rid of some of the harder ones to deal with. Yeah, so if I can cure everyone from all the regions all at once, then I can gain not only the XP, but also get to use the XP that I've gained from curing those people. But at the same time, I'm annoyed because there's still like some stuff I need to find from some of these things. Kill the Econ. Find the second part of Father's Testament is going to be something we'll probably do eventually, because we are heading into that territory. But I do want to get more XP before walking into there, because I'm fearful that the enemies are going to be tough to deal with still, nonetheless, before we get into that spot. So we'll see. We'll go to the hospital, cure up some people, talk to actually, yeah, we can talk to Swansea, because apparently Swansea is still a talkative. Can still be talked to him to get some information, which gives us some XP at least, I'd say. But we'll cure people, talk to Swansea, talk to cure people from both the docks and the hospital, and then we'll make our way back to the main story again in the episode after the next one probably. I'll take the whole episode, the next episode, as quickly as I can to rush through the fights and all that jazz to get to those places and cure people. But anyways, that's it for now, and yeah, we're closing in on the 30-minute mark anyways, but I'm going to close it out early for a little bit. Just because I don't think I will gain enough time to get there unless I go beyond the 30 minutes mark for now. But, who cares? Otherwise, that's it for this episode, so I'll see you guys in the next one or another Minds. Hope you guys have a great, amazing day, and we good night to everyone for watching this. Roz, out.